really excited to see how this one goes. I feel like this is going to be a really good test for the dudes because Yikes with Chicago Turtles, hey, this is a really good team. And we've seen the dudes rise up and play really well against these good teams, but I think this is going to be a really good test for them.
And you'd say on paper, you would have to go Yikes, but like if you're talking about the heart or the story for this past week, it's been the dudes taking out everyone. So who knows what we're going to get, but we are at least getting a 5-game series. It is not best of 3s anymore, guys. Again, best of 5 now from here on out, and this is for a trip to the grand finals on February 3rd.
All right, let's see what happens here. Who's going to start off fast? We saw Chicago in that match we just saw playing some really fast Rocket League. Saw a lot of really nice team plays, and look at that defense. Chicago, right place, right time. We saw a couple of those in the last match as well. Just able to get across that net and stop those balls from going to the back of the net. There's a nice passing play there from the dudes trying to make it happen. Joro over to the middle. That's an open net, and it's going to go in. Joro with a great goal there to put the dudes up early, 30 seconds in, and they got to be feeling good about that. You know, some of these Rocket League matches, it's all about the momentum. What kind of momentum can you acquire for yourselves? And getting that first goal is so important here, and that's exactly what the dudes are able to do. So we'll have to see if Yikes can pull it back, and the best thing to do here is just try to get as quick a goal as possible. Just try to bring that back as fast as you can. But Joro, he's not listening to that. He's doing an incredible shot there, just barely off the top part of that goal. And now we're seeing the dudes keep up that pressure.
Yeah, 3 scoring chances in the first minute of play from them. Chicago, he had to make a miracle save. They just missed that shot. And, of course, the goal that was a double commit by Turtle and Zol. And it's all the dudes so far. It's like first minute of play. And, again, we expect it to be the Yikes team. But DreamHack qualifiers, it was the dudes versus RLCS teams. And now they're taking out Yikes, who's the best team in the rival series. And they just improved by picking up Turtle as well.
Okay, we'll have to see if Yikes can bring this back, but the dudes looking formidable so far, having a great day of Rocket League, having a great week, and they're in really good shape, and they're showing the aggression right now. But Zol is there on defense, actually beating a lot of those players on the other side. Chicago is actually ahead of the defense, but not able to convert a goal just yet. Turtle with a nice chance there into the bottom right-hand corner of the net, but Ralph able to be there on defense to deal with that. AXB, the 50-50, pushing on over to Joro. Ralph going to extend the play over to Joro. He's going to miss it in the midfield. Zol, he sees his teammate over on the left-hand side. It's Chicago. Of course it is. Off the backboard, back to Turtle, and that's going in the back of the net. A great team play there from Yikes.
So Ralph, he tries to come back and make the defensive play here. He does have some boost. He just kind of goes a little bit too fast and does get the tap like right after Turtle scores, but that was a misplay by Ralph, but that was great pressure by Yikes to keep that up, and Turtle gets the goal, and finally a mistake comes out from the dudes. It seems like they've been playing perfect so far, so yeah. They are vulnerable. These guys are not gods yet, but they're trying to.
They're trying to get the history books written in their favor, and in their first week, just pouncing on the North American scene. I think those books are already being written, but I do want to emphasize oh my gosh, I was about to do a little spiel about Chicago because of how fast he's playing, but just like that, Ralph just in a great spot. Zol tried to clear it off, but did not really get a good connect on it, and Ralph was able to just be in a really nice place there to get a pretty simple goal there on the right-hand side.
So Ralph, he makes up for his defensive mistake, and that was mostly because both Chicago and Turtle, they thought Zol had the wall clear, and he didn't whatsoever. He completely misses it. They both were creeping up, so left a wide open net for Ralph. So hats off to him to bounce back after that play on defense. And now, again, the dudes take the lead back, and we only got 2 minutes, 20 seconds left.
All right, let's see if the Yikes can bring it back a little bit. The pressure right now belongs to them. Chicago, Turtle, Zol trying to keep it on that blue side. Chicago floating it on over to the middle, trying to get another connect on it. Ralph, though, on defense on that backboard, going to hit it back towards the middle of the field, but Turtle is there. Going to hit off the wall over to Zol towards the goal. Good defense there from AXB. Chicago is there, trying to block it. Pretty decent 50-50, but AXB able to get a nice connect, actually flipping backwards to hit that ball to the middle of the field, and that's going to stay on the orange side for now. AXB still in control, trying to get another goal here for the dudes. A little bit of lacking on the defense there from Yikes, and that's going to lead to a goal. Zol with a mishit there, and the dude's going to take advantage. Joro with another goal.
So Turtle looked confused throughout that last 30 seconds. He tried to move up on an earlier play, and then there he thought maybe someone was going to come out and make a challenge there, but Chicago turns around Turtle moves a little bit too close to the inside post and leaves the entire backside of the net open. So bad position in there on the goal line. And here we go. The Dudes, a 2-goal lead in game number 1.
All right, that's exactly what they want. It's pretty much the perfect start to the series for the Dudes, but the Yikes, they are fighters. They're definitely going to try to bring this back.
There's another one.
Ralph, an amazing challenge there. 50-50 perfectly in his favor. AXB just passed it on down to him. Chicago tried to read that, but Ralph just floating it across the right-hand side and nudging it in the left-hand side of the goal there to extend the lead to 4-1 for the Dudes. What is this team?
I think Chicago just flew into a different map by how much he got completely faked from Ralph. Ralph, the great trap, and then dribble right into a 50-50 contest and winning that dunk. And nothing is stopping the Dudes right now. They take a huge lead versus Yikes. We're only in game 1 at least, so the Yikes have time to make a comeback. It is a best of 5, but the Dudes are playing out of their minds.
All right. As far as this game is concerned, about 60 seconds left. Still room to come back. It would be a very impressive comeback to begin with, but at the very least, this is the time of the game where you want to see just some really good passes put together, some really good defensive plays, maybe another goal here for Yikes to try to just bring the momentum back in their favor. And that's some great team play. Zolt floating on it over to Turtle. He tried to finish it off, but not able to finish that off into the back of the net. And it looks like Yikes trying to get this goal secured, but the defense just too strong for the Dudes. And it's back to the drawing board. 30 seconds left. Now the ball on the side of Yikes. Ralph and Joro both going for that in the air. And this might be a chance for Yikes to bring it back the other way. A nice back pass from Chicago to Zolt. Going to hit it off the backboard and try to turn it back towards that goal. Chicago is there. Going to try to keep it on that blue side. But I think this one's all but over. This game number 1, the Dudes in control the entire way through. A 4-1 advantage. And they're probably going to keep it that way as we move on into game 2.
Here we go. The Dudes just... But what a week for them. They qualify for DreamHack. Ralph can't make it there, but he still wants to play in some big matches, so they want to make it to the grand finals with Ralph here. And they start off really well versus Yikes, 4-1. And Yikes, honestly, like after that game, have to be saying, yikes, that was a rough game 1 by the end of it. But again, best of 5 guys here, and you expect the team of Turtle, Zol, and Chicago to bounce back. They had this very thing happen to them in game number 2 when they were playing in the last series where they didn't play all that great, but they bounced back with a commanding game 3 win. So I expect them to play a lot better in game number 2, but no one wants to play the Dudes right now. And I bet like if the Dudes do win this, both Cloud9 and Equinox are going to be like, I don't know what it is, but there's some mojo going on right now with the Dudes and no one wants to play them. Seems like they're beating everybody right now.
We got the perfect underdog story. Who are these guys? Where did they come from? I don't care. They're amazing at Rocket League. I'm a fan now. The Dudes playing some amazing Rocket League, taking game number 1 to Yikes in like every sense of it, where they could easily get 2-3-1 advantage, but no, 4-1 advantage. That's a pretty significant advantage in that game. In particular, 5 shots apiece from Ralph and Joro. So those guys flying everywhere, getting those shots, some of them on target, and obviously converting 4 goals against Yikes, which is a super solid team. Chicago, Turtle, Zol, with some phenomenal defense in there from Chicago as well. So it's up to Yikes to come up with something here. How do you slow the Dudes down? Do you go for more demos? Do you try to get some more fancy plays going? Do you try to anticipate the way that they're playing a little bit better? It is a best of 5, so there is room for Yikes to try to figure out their opponents here so they don't give it all away and try to bring it back.
And one thing we saw last week was a lot of flip resets on the ball. And right there, Joro, I thought he had kind of an opportunity there to confuse the defense on that aerial dribble, try and tag all 4 wheels and go for a weird flip. But he decides against it, makes an easy save for Zol. And now we see Yikes. They're getting that offensive pressure right after that play. But they just got to be careful about these double commits. It seems like Chicago's trying to get antsy there and missing another challenge. And Turtle not doing too much either there like with that double tap. So now we see the Dudes take control here, and not a lot of boost left for Yikes, but Chicago will get the clear out, and looks like we're starting off with everyone not really doing too much yet on the offensive side of things.
Decent chance there. Chicago able to get the ball in a really nice position, floating on over to the middle. but Zol not able to connect there as well as he was hoping for. On the other side, AXB pushing it towards the left-hand side of the goal, and Ralph is there in the sweeping position, hitting it back up towards the backboard. Zol trying to get it out of there. Chicago in a great spot on defense to deflect that shot from AXB. Joro trying to finish that through, and all Yikes wants right now is to get the ball out of here, get the clear going, and they might be able to make it happen. Zol trying to go for the clear, going to end up demoing AXB, and the ball is going to stay on that orange side. Joro coming in from above, trying to make that goal happen. Ralph going up as well, trying to hit it back towards the middle of the field. Joro is there, AXB is there, but neither able to get it on target, and Yikes holding on for now, but the pressure is relentless from the dudes. Finally, Turtle hitting it across the goal, actually on target, but Joro just barely saving that, hitting it up to Ralph, and he's going to try to bring it back the other way. But I feel like all the pressure right now belonging to the dudes, keeping up their momentum from last game.
And one thing we've seen from Chicago is miracle save after miracle save all throughout today. The only problem is you don't want to rely on that. Those are very difficult saves to make, and Yikes is putting themselves in some very bad situations, and the dudes are really pressuring hard here. But no goals yet, but the Yikes definitely have to clean that up because you don't want to rely on those really tough saves. Right here we see XP with a great deflection, but Turtle is there to clear, tries to pass to Chicago, but just not close enough. And right now it's a little bit of a neutral game here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Yikes, they just have to tie together the passing plays, and it's really important for them to get some of that synergy going, trying to throw their opponents off guard. Oh my God, such a close opportunity there for Chicago, just barely missing the left edge of the goal there, and now we see the dudes going the other way on the orange side, going to try to pass it over to the middle. AXB there trying to finish it into the back of the net. He's going to barely miss. Ralph actually missing a touch. This is going back the other way. This could be a goal for Yikes, and I think it is. A little bit of overextension there maybe from this dude's team, and all of them caught in front of this ball that was finished off there by Zol, hitting it all across the field and able to get behind all those defenders.
So Ralph there, he missed that second touch off the corner, and I think that is why Joro moved up. It was a little bit hard to tell, but like as a third man, you have to be very confident in moving up, and you don't want to leave wide open nets. And that's after all this momentum that the dudes are picking up with great scoring chance after great scoring chance. That's not what you want. It's very deflating for a wide open net. Now you're down one goal, even though throughout this entire game, you've had more of the pressure. So they got to clean up that defense. Don't allow those easy goals for Yikes, because you want to take out Yikes as soon as possible, because you know they're a very strong team. You don't want to give them any free wins here in a very short best of 5.
And honestly, very much lower scoring here in this game number 2. And we talk about that in best of 3s, best of 5s, the time these teams have to kind of figure each other out, to calm down and try to figure out their play. Much more low scoring here, which might be a good sign for Yikes, because they have this 1-0 advantage. If this stays low scoring, obviously they're going to be very happy with that. So right now they're keeping the aggression up on that blue side, but now the dude's trying to bring it back the other way. AXB over the middle to Joro. Nice connect from him. Zol is there though on defense, passing over the middle. Ralph trying to go for it, but Chicago a little bit too fast, hitting it back toward that blue side. AXB on defense, hitting it towards the corner. Turtle trying to bring it back to the middle, but actually going to end up back passing it to Zol. He's trying to find a good angle onto it, but AXB is there to prevent that from happening. Over to Ralph, going to float it over the left-hand side. Chicago trying to play some good defense. Zol going to get a nice connection. There's a bump from Chicago. He's going to pass it over to Turtle. AXB is just accidentally getting in the way of all of this play developing. But ultimately, all good things for Yikes. Keeping it on that blue side. Let's see if they can finish with the goal. But the defense is true here from the dudes. Going to bring it back the other way.
So we finally see some good back passes coming out from Yikes. They had some very awkward ones when they were playing against Johnny Bravo, as we like to call them. So I'm happy that their back passes are starting to work, and they're starting to keep ball possession because of these back passes and keep the dudes away from those scoring chances that we saw throughout the first 2 minutes of this game, but we haven't seen a lot from them in this past 3 minutes of play. Looks like they're just trying to shut them down now. Yikes with that 1-goal lead. Doesn't want to do anything too crazy.
Chicago
here with the double tap. Right off the wheels, just barely under the bar. Zol, the pinch pass off the wall. And this is why we say Chicago is so great.
Chicago.
Beautiful.
He's like, enough is enough. Who are these guys? I don't care. Give me the ball off the backboard, double touch, back of the net. And there we see Yikes up 2-0 in this game number 2. That's exactly what they need to even up this series. And honestly, a little bit of intimidation would not be a bad thing either for Yikes. Chicago is such a dominating goal there, straight to the back of the net. They got to be feeling good about that. And just like that, Yikes and the dudes are going to be tied 1-1 in this best of 5. We got a series on our hands, Gibbs.
Chicago just made a statement right there.
Oh yeah.
like that clinching goal, and now the dude's like, oh yeah, these guys are really good. They didn't show it in game 1. They didn't show it a lot in this game either. It's a very neutral game, but Chicago, what a touch from him. And that is why I thought one of the big surprises from this entire offseason was that an RLCS team didn't pick up Chicago. Like, I thought he was going to be the one leaving instead of them trying to improve this team just because of how good he is. But what a play from him. He shows it there, and now it's a best of 3 again. We're tied 1-1 here.
I love it.
The dudes get shut out. And it's anyone's game right now. And Yikes, honestly, they had one free goal, but that last goal, you couldn't have earned it any harder, Chicago. What a play there to clinch that win. The dude's got to be feeling a little scared now.
Yeah. I mean, you always wonder in best of 5, how is that first game going to feel? And a lot of the time, it's all about trying to get your synergy going. You don't really know what you're going to expect from your opponents. So I feel like that's a lot of what was happening there for Yikes. They're kind of figuring things out in game 1. Now are they in a bit of a better form there in game 2, keeping the dudes completely scoreless? I'll tell you one thing. Yikes, they're definitely going to try to keep this momentum up. They want to keep their opponent scoreless right here. The best thing they can do is hold on to what happened in game 2 there and try to propel them to a victory using that momentum. So we'll see what happens. But you got to imagine the dudes, they've got ferocity. They've been in this position before. They're used to these scrappy games where they're going toe-to-toe with some of these RLCS contenders. So they're certainly not going to give up by any means. So I love it. We got a super close series on our hands. This could truly go either way. Both these teams showing an incredible amount of skill, but in my mind, I'm still seeing that Chicago play that we saw off the backboard, twirling around in the air, putting some fanciness in there, and executing that double touch goal. Just amazing play from Chicago. So we'll have to see what happens in this game. 30 seconds down, still scoreless. Chicago on the defense. You see Ralph going up to the sky here to try to deflect it off the ceiling. Over to Juro, a nice pass off the backboard, but Zola's there waiting. Nice little float past Ralph, but AXB try to bring it back the other way towards that orange goal. Chicago with the backflip. Turtle going to pick that up. And both these teams might be slowing it down a little bit. Nice shot there from AXB, but we remain scoreless after 1 minute.
So far, we've seen Turtle sometimes be a little bit awkward of plays for him because of his teammates. I think there's still some communication issues. We saw there where Turtle was trying to go for the clear, but Chicago tapped it. So Turtle had to put on the brakes a little bit late. No momentum, but AXB scoring off the backboard here as everyone tries to rotate out. Chicago, poor touch here. And once again, the dudes winning these 50-50s. Beautiful pass there from Ralph, and AXB just coming in and cleaning it up.
Yeah, AXB coming out of nowhere. That can be risky play sometimes, but other times it can work out perfectly where you're really anticipating where that ball is going to be, and you have to be incredibly quick to make sure you are the one who is there first, because if you miss that, it's going the other way, and it's probably not going to work out well. So AXB doing an excellent job anticipating that incredibly fast pass and able to bury it in the back of the net. So let's see if they can keep it up here. But going the other way, there's some fanciness. Chicago over to Turtle, and he's just going to pitch it on through. Chicago starting that off, just propelling that ball across the field and able to pick up his own pass. Just be like, all right, Turtle, here you go. Go ahead and score that. Thank you very much.
He just broke 4 axles there, 2 from each of those cars on the defensive side. Ouch. Beautiful fake there from Turtle. And he had another play like that in the last series with the chip right over Tuster. So Turtle playing very smart when he has that free time, either using a fake or using a chip play, just not doing the usual conventional shot. And this is why Turtle is so good. Such a smart player.
All right, now we see the dudes on the offense. A little bit of awkwardness there from Zol trying to clear it out of here. And all of the momentum right now, all the pressure belongs to the dudes. They're keeping it on the orange side, and it's up to Turtle actually to try to clear it out. He's able to do that. Over to Chicago. Let's see what he can do with this. Looks like a bump attempted there, but it's not going to work. Chicago floating it on over to the middle. Zol trying to finish that in, but some good defense here from the dudes. Uh-oh, that's going back to the middle. Turtle is there trying to pass it back towards the goal, but Ralph playing some solid defense. Right place, right time. Zol passing it back to Chicago. He's not able to get it out of there. And now the ball, once again, on that orange side. Chicago, 50-50 in mid-air. Joro in the middle, trying to finish that through. But Turtle is there to block that. Ralph with a great shot towards the goal, missing a little bit wide. And Zol trying to bring it back the other way. But we are incredibly back and forth here. We are over halfway done in this game number 3. We are tied 1-1. This can truly go either way. Who's going to be the playmaker? Who's going to tie together the passes here to get that next goal? Only time will tell.
And so far, we've seen some solo plays lately from Yikes. At first it was like Chicago with the double tap, and then it was Turtle. So maybe it'll be a solo play from Yikes. Zol trying to make one happen there. But right now, it's an extremely defensive game. Only 2 shots for the dudes, 3 shots for Yikes. So it's going to be make or break here, like on that scoring chances. Like when you get maybe 1 or 2 left in this game, like one right here from Turtle. Great save from AXB, but you have to capitalize on the very few scoring chances that you are getting throughout this game.
Okay, Yikes keeping on that blue side. Chicago over to Zol over the right-hand side, and that's 2 players up there from the dudes trying to deflect that. Usually that's not a good sign because you're leaving yourself vulnerable, but the 3rd member of the dudes is able to come back and sweep that away. Chicago trying to follow this from the air. Zol coming down to support from the ground. And now we're seeing some aggression here from the dudes trying to keep it on that orange side, and that's AXB trying to hit it towards the goal, but Chicago with another great save. Both these teams, so many chances, some incredible offense, but even better defense for both sides, and we remain equalized 1-1 with a minute left in this game number 3. Again, the winner of this game takes a 2-1 advantage in this best-of-5 series, so a very important game for both of these 2 teams. And now we see AXB with the miss, and that's a costly one. Sometimes it comes down to the mistakes. AXB had the ball right in front of him in the middle there. He completely whipped it, more or less. Chicago able to take advantage of that, quickly taking the shot, and that's a 2-1 advantage for Yikes.
So we see right there, it was Joro trying to cheat up a little bit because he expected his teammate to get the hit. Once he misses, those mistakes will always cost you. And Joro, he moved up pretty far on a previous play that was at a 50-50 that I thought was questionable. So maybe pull back a little bit, but on that play, you have to give it to AXB. He has to make that touch there. Yeah. But now, Yikes are up 2-1, and 1 was a solo play, 1 was a mistake by the dudes, but now the dudes have to answer back quickly. Only 25 seconds left.
Oh, Chicago trying to sneak in a shot to the top side of the net, but AXB playing some phenomenal defense this whole time. Kind of a weird back pass from Ralph, hitting it directly towards the goal, but AXB trying to hit that back out. There's the momentum still belonging to the Yikes. Turtle placing it on target. There's not enough defenders. Chicago with another chance, and the ball is staying on the dude's side. Zol backing that up, hitting it up towards the sky, over towards the center. No one's there to get it, but that's all they need. Time's expired, and Yikes takes down game number 3, giving them the 2-1 advantage in the series.
So the last 2 minutes was all Yikes right there, getting scoring chance after scoring chance after. I was saying, hey, you might have to score on just 1 scoring chance at this point, but no. Yikes come out, just pounding that net like all of a sudden. And the dudes were making great saves, placing it gently like in the corners, but Yikes kept that ball possession, kept that pressure up. And honestly, right now, going into game 4, I expect Yikes to come out and win this maybe by 3 or 4 goals, because that last 2 minutes was extremely good from Yikes. And once again, though, Yikes has been inconsistent today. Like, when they lose badly, and they don't look like a great team. So the dudes are still in this, but Yikes, when they're playing on, it just happens to be, who knows when it's going to be, like every 5 minutes or so. But, like, if they're playing on, it's going to be a very tough team to beat here. But this is the dudes' week, Axeltoss. They made it through the DreamHack qualifiers. Anything can happen, and that's why we played the games. But they got to win 2 in a row now to move on to the grand finals.
They're such a good team. And if anyone had a doubt before, I mean, I think those doubts are gone, because, you know, you have a certain amount of tests in the Rocket League scene, tournaments that you sign up for. And it's easy to do well in a tournament and then, you know, kind of fade away. But we're seeing the dudes show up, and they're playing these games so incredibly closely. Again, they took down game number 1. So we'll see if they can bring it back. They are certainly capable. They have the talent. They have the skill. But is the timing right for them here to convert this to a victory, to push it to a game 5? As it stands, it's match point for Yikes. If they win this game, they will advance to the finals of this Ting Open Qualifier number 2 here on twitch.tv/Axeltoss. Thank you all for tuning in. G2 versus FlyQuest is coming up next. That's going to be the next semifinal you're going to see on stream, and they're going to play the winner of whoever ends up winning this match. Again, if Yikes can take home this game victory, they will win the series. For now, it's all offense for Yikes. Chicago over to Zol, passing it over to the backboard. Ralph there on defense, coming off the backboard to hit that back the other way. But Turtle is in a great spot to try to lift it on over to Chicago. He's going to hit it off the back. Can he angle it into the goal? Oh, just barely. Right ideas there from Turtle, but the fact stands, the pressure is on. It looks like Yikes, they are not letting up that gas pedal, and the ball has pretty much been on that blue side this entire time.
Yeah, that was a big boost grab, though, from Joro. He did get bumped out, so he's out of position, but he did beat out the boost from Chicago, it looked like there. And Ralph, finally, they get a contest that goes their way, and now the dudes can breathe a sigh of relief for a little bit, but it looks like Yikes are coming right back once again.
Okay. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. Turtle trying to push it back over that halfway line, and Chicago and Zol going to rotate back. Joro coming forward. There's a demo from Ralph onto Zol, trying to get those goals. They're like, you know what? We can't score. Let's just remove them from the game, and then we can score. But just barely not working out. Turtle with a decent angle off the side there. Not able to get the best hit that he was looking for, but Chicago is there on defense, dampening any threat that would have existed there from the dudes going back the other way. But the dudes back in control. AXB with a nice deflection in the midfield, and that's a misplay. I'm not sure who was that on defense that missed.
That was Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. That's one of the toughest angles to get, and he just barely whiffing that shot. And that's a 1-0 advantage here.
That was a great pass from AXB, though. Like, no one expected that deflection to go that way. And Chicago's been playing amazing on the defensive side. He didn't expect it at all, so he had to kind of panic at the last second, trying to get that half volley wall clear, but couldn't get up the wall in time. And now the dudes battling back. They got a 1-goal lead, even though the Yikes have had the ball on the other side and had a lot of scoring chances. The dudes are up 1-0. Very similar to the start of game number 3, where the dudes were the one that had the huge advantage, but Yikes was the one who scored that first goal. So very important goal here from the dudes, and see if they can add on with another here.
Kind of a great idea there with the back pass, but a little bit of miss there from the dudes. Potential opportunity. Chicago getting demoed. Could that lead to a goal? Zol just barely able to get the stop, but AXB is there to finish it off, and that's a 2-0 advantage for the dudes in this game number 4. And again, this is what they need. They're in dire straits right now. This is their tournament lives on the line. And again, they're down 2-1 in this series, so trying to equalize it up here. But can the Yikes come up with something to try to bring this back? Still plenty of time left in this game, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Yikes control the ball. That's Chicago over to Turtle, hitting it towards the upper right hand of the goal. Not able to make it in. AXB with some great defense, but Turtle in the sweeping position, trying to float that back towards the goal. The save is still there from the dudes. Yikes with some opportunities, but unable to finish it through. The pressure is on, though. Turtle keeping it on the blue side. Chicago going to try to hit it towards the goal, just barely tapping it. Zol missing it. Joro actually able to get there first. Turtle going to try to bring it up to the side of the wall, but that's where Ralph does his thing, trying to come down onto it, but not able to make connection. So, I figured there'd be a clear there, but the dude's able to keep it on that orange side. There's the clear from Turtle, hitting it towards that goal. Oh! And the bump in midair from Zol, trying to disrupt that play any way he can. I actually kind of like it. But at the other side, Chicago getting demoed. Zol, it's left to him to try to make something happen with Turtle while they wait for Chicago to come back. Let's see if they can make it work. But Joro with the clear. Should be an easy ball for Chicago. He's going to hit it up. Yeah, Joro going up even before that ball was hit, reading it so nicely. But Chicago keeping the muscle around, and they're going to keep it on that blue side. There's some more good defense from Joro as it goes back the other way.
And that was the first shot registered for Yikes, but it doesn't matter. The dudes, like, it was a very weak shot, so Joro could easily get the clear, and Joro comes up with the secondary touch, and again, another demolition play creates that goal-scoring opportunity. And I was about to say, Yikes, they had 3 shots early on in this game, but they haven't got any since, and then a very weak shot there to allow that scoring opportunity. Now the dudes, they're up 3-0. Looks like we're probably going to a Game 5, an all-or-nothing Game 5, and that's what we always want.
Yeah, both these teams are just, I feel like they're playing so well right now. I really feel like this can go either way as far as the series is concerned, and the moment you think the dudes might be fading away, boom, 3 goals immediately here in game number 4 to show that they're here to stay. Do not ever count them out, and playing some awesome Rocket League in this game number 4. So let's see what happens here as 45 seconds left for Yikes to bring it back. For now, they're applying a lot of pressure here. Or actually, it looks like they're trying to just keep it going the other way. The dude's keeping out the pressure. Zol on the other side, trying to do some fanciness behind the defense. But it looks like there's just not going to be enough time. 30 seconds left. 3 goals. It's possible. But the way the dudes are playing, they're actually keeping up that aggression regardless of their 3-0 advantage. They want more goals. They want to keep their presence known on this map, and that's exactly what they're doing. And it looks like we're going to a Game 5, Gibbs.
And that's what we want. Game 5, all or nothing. And if you do advance, you're going to the Grand Finals February 3rd and 4th. Playing for a lot more money on the line there. There's $1,500 of that. You're also getting at least $100 tonight. Yep. And a possibility at that first place $300 prize. The dudes, this week just keeps on going for them. Just keeps on going. And honestly, I don't know who's going to win this because, again, like every time the Yikes, it just seems like they have one game that's really on, one game that's kind of off. Right there, we saw two really bad like defensive mistakes right there from Chicago on one of them. Zol, he thought he had to panic a little bit more on that very weak touch from Ralph where he had to speed back into the net, threw it off the post for a perfect center for the dudes. Just seems like these mistakes keep happening for Yikes, but it happens like every other 5 minutes. So you would think Yikes are just going to come out and win 5-0 in game number 5. Who knows?
Anything can happen. It's so hard to predict at this point, but honestly, the way this usually works is when it goes to a game 5, it literally, the game can go either way. Either it belongs to someone who can make the plays happen or just avoiding the mistakes. And we saw there Chicago, right? Chicago able to make that amazing play with the double touch there in game number 3. Those are the plays we're looking for. I feel like, especially from Chicago, especially from Yikes, you have to pull that out. You have to be able to make those plays happen to really give that advantage to your team. I think we need to see more of that from Yikes, more of those really nice plays, whether it's passing or whether it's Chicago making the solo plays, because I feel like the dudes, that's what they're doing. Like we've seen AXB make some ridiculous shots from ridiculous angles, and we're seeing them tie together a lot of passing plays. So going into game 5 here, it could literally go either way. I'm excited. Again, both these rosters, both these teams relatively new to the scene, so we haven't really seen much of them before, which makes it so much more fun for our purposes. And again, coming up next is going to be the next semifinal between G2 and FlyQuest. So make sure you're staying tuned for that. I know a lot of people have been waiting for G2 all day. I can't wait to see them play as well. And they're playing some pretty nice Rocket League, so we're going to see them next. But for now, this is it, the game 5. The winner of this game will move on to not only the finals of the Team Qualifier number 2, but also the grand finals of the Team Open. So very important game for both of these two teams. They're about to get started in game number 5. We've effectively gone back and forth the whole way through, so this can truly go either way.
Yeah, I'm going to side with Yikes here. I think it's going to be a close one, but I think the Yikes can pull it out. Maybe a solo play from Turtle or Chicago will be the difference, but don't count the dudes out. It has been their week for Rocket League. They're trying some passing plays here. Ralph to AXB, the give and go. It almost works, but Chicago intercepts that play.
Of course, Chicago is there. And I feel like we're going to see some spectacular saves. And that's an important note, though, because whenever there's a spectacular save, usually there's a spectacular shot, and usually there's teammates following up. So even if you have a great save, the ball might just drift away, because although you're saving it, you don't necessarily have control over where that ball is going. Oh my God, Turtle with the save. And Zol with like the shortest pass imaginable to Chicago, who's able to clear it out of there. But the pressure is all in the hands of the dudes right now. Even a demo, Dro trying to finish it off. The kitchen sink and everything in between being thrown at Yikes right now. They're trying to hold on for dear life as the dudes is so relentless with the pressure right now. But Chicago, it might be up to him, bringing it back the other way. Troro and it looks like AXB both going up for that, trying to clear it off. There's bumps everywhere as well, but there's Zol coming in from above. He was playing the sweeper position, saw his moment, and leapt for the chance to bury that in the back of the net.
And again, Chicago, he bumps out one of the defenders. Turtle gets an easy 50-50 win. AXB, a very awkward angle for him to try and read it off that corner. Zol gets the goal, and honestly, I thought it was going to be a Turtle solo play. I didn't think it was going to be an own goal. He almost owned goal, but then made a miracle save on his own shot, basically. And luckily for Yikes, they're up 1-0. It could have very easily been 1-0 the dudes right now.
Yep. Again, like the first 30, 45 seconds, almost the first minute was all the dudes just keeping it on the side of Yikes and just pressure, pressure, pressure. Shot chance, goal chance, goal chance. But I think Chicago was able to finally clear it out, and now we're seeing the pressure belong to Yikes in a big way. They have this first goal. They're keeping it on that blue side, and we'll see what happens here. Juro trying to clear it out of there. Is anyone on defense? It looks like yes, Chicago in the right place. Juro trying to send it back towards the middle, but Turtle is there with the clear. Ralph in the midfield trying to pull it back to that orange side and trying to get another touch on it. That's a great shot there from Ralph, getting it to the front of that goal, but Turtle is there on defense. There's a 50-50. Turtle getting the better edge of that. And it looks like Zol flying in the air trying to keep that going, but it ends up going back down to the floor. Chicago trying to continue it on down the field, but AXB is there, keeping it on the side of Yikes, and there's the shot from AXB. Those are the solo plays we're looking for, and we have a tie game 1-1.
And this is almost a deja vu on the defensive side. This time, Turtle is in an awkward spot trying to read it off the corner. He thought it was going to roll around the wall. It did not, and AXB can beat him to that ball. And AXB, he makes up for his defensive play, ties this game. 2 minutes, 50 seconds left. Again, guys, this is game 5, all or nothing to go to the finals today, and also to go to the grand finals on February 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, such an important game. It cannot be understated enough. Every single goal has so much gravity alongside it. We're halfway through in this game number 5, in this tie series 2-2, and we're tied in the game 1-1. It could truly go either way in Chicago. Coming from the skies again, and that's what we're looking for. How exactly this happened? Zol with the perfect pass play off the backboard. Joro trying to deflect that out of there, but not able to get the connection he was looking for, and Chicago was ready and waiting to get a relatively easy goal for his standards.
So that was a matter of inches from hitting the diagonal part of the corner. Zol hits it off the flat part, just barely it looked like, and he gets the easy pass out to Chicago. Joro cannot read it, but Ralph also, he was trying to trap that ball down, threw it way too far away from him, went for the boost instead, and that's the entire play, and Chicago just beats everyone back from the dudes to pass this to Zol. He beats out one there, then Joro, not sure what he's doing there. He had the boost, he decided to break a little bit, and that's what happens there. Another mistake from Joro, 2 in a row, and now all of a sudden the Yikes, a commanded 2-goal lead, only 2 minutes and 14 seconds left. The dudes have to find something and find something quick.
Yeah, Chicago's such a quick player. I think Joro was a little bit caught off guard. He felt comfortable, felt in control, but you never know when Chicago's going to come out of nowhere because of the speed he has with the Octane, with these Rocket League cars. You always have to be prepared for that. So Chicago doing a great job securing that goal. And just like that, Chicago, another one. And this is exactly what they're looking for. The best thing you can do if you get 1 goal, turn it into 2, turn it into 3. Keep that pressure going. Whatever you found, whatever you're making work, just hold on to it and keep those goals coming up. And that's exactly what Yikes is doing. Now they're up 4-1. This is a dire situation here for the dudes.
And that boost grab by Turtle. The boost just spawned in time. Turtle with a perfect pass out to Chicago to beat out Ralph. AXB couldn't do anything about that. Perfectly placed near Chicago. And now, Yikes. Like, once again, it seems like every other 5 minutes, but it's not over. AXB comes up big. There's a double commit here from Yikes. I'm not sure where they were going. They both misread this ball.
Oh, yeah.
The sealant earlier. And AXB easily beats him out. And that's not a goal you want to give up. You have a 3-goal lead. Don't give them the easy shot. Zol definitely should have stayed and let Turtle do his thing, but it keeps the dudes alive. And if anyone can make a comeback on this week of Rocket League, it's the dudes.
Oh man, isn't that the truth? Definitely would not be surprised to do it, but this is a tricky point right now for Yikes because, you know, you talk about, all right, you're doing well, you want to keep it up, but at the same time, it's such an important match, such an important game. At what point do you dial it back a little bit and play super safe? Do they want to do that? What kind of a decision would that be? Would that be a mature decision? Is that the right move, the wrong move? Let's see what they decide to do, because it could be easy to say, all right, let's play it safe, but then you're kind of not playing with the same groove. So we'll have to see how this ends up going. But for now, a minute left, and the Yikes